Moving in and settling into a new house is supposed to be a joyous occasion where people can look forward to starting a fresh chapter in their lives. But when the new property turns out to be a scary haunted house, it can cause havoc in the lives of the new occupants, often forcing them to abandon the scary house for good. Number 5. Whispers Estate is located in Mitchell, Indiana, and has long been known by locals and visitors alike as being one of the most scary haunted houses in America. In 1899, Dr. John Gibbons and his wife, Jessie, decided to move into the house along with their 10-year-old daughter, Rachel, and their baby, Elizabeth. One Christmas morning, Rachel was eager to open her Christmas presents, and while she was trying to sneak a peek at what she had been given, she accidentally got too close to an open flame and was badly burned. Due to the accident, she was kept in one of the upstairs rooms, but unfortunately she was unable to recover and passed away 2 days later. Burn marks from the incident can still be seen on the door that connects the dining room to the parlor, but it's not the only remnant that still lingers in the house. Many people have experienced hearing Rachel's laughter as if she is still at play. Some reported hearing footsteps and in some cases seeing her running around the building. Others have heard whispering coming from the walls in the bedroom where Jessie and Elizabeth both passed away. One closet doorknob has been known to move by itself, often resulting in the closet swinging open. On one occasion, a group of women visited the home with the aim of connecting with Rachel specifically. They brought along a doll as a present to her, and they left it in the second-floor bedroom where she spent her final days. They attempted to communicate with her, calling out her name in hopes of getting a reply. They then heard something bouncing down the stairs and coming to a rest on the landing, and when they investigated, they found that it was Rachel's doll that had somehow traveled down the stairs. When they picked it up, they noticed that it looked and smelled like it had been burned. Number 4. Molly Brown was a philanthropist, socialite, and activist who famously survived the sinking of the Titanic in 1912. She was also one of the many inhabitants that lived in a scary haunted house, now known as the Molly Brown House Museum, at 1340 Pennsylvania Street in Denver, Colorado. The house was built in 1889 and over the years has served as a private residence, an apartment complex set up for young men, as well as a home for wayward girls. Today, it serves as an educational museum, but due to its reputation for being haunted, is often visited by paranormal investigators. In the 1970s, it became an abandoned house that was slated for demolition. But thanks to a group called Historic Denver, enough funds were raised to restore the building using photos taken in 1910. But it's often reported that Molly is still present in the house, and at times, the smell of pipe and cigar tobacco has been detected. Some people say that since it's prohibited to smoke in the building these days, it's the spirit of J.J. Brown, Molly's husband, that also lingers there. Tour guides and museum staff have also experienced light bulbs that inexplicably become undone from their fixtures, and they regularly need to be checked and inserted properly again. They've also described seeing what appears to be a woman dressed in a Victorian-era dress moving the furniture around in Molly's old bedroom, as if she's trying to keep the place as she liked it when she lived there. She has also been sitting at the dining room table on occasion, allowing visitors to take photos of her. Others have reported seeing both Molly and JJ moving through the house, causing cold spots in some of the rooms. JJ and Molly had a daughter named Catherine, who tragically passed away while she was still young. In her old bedroom, it's been reported that the window blinds move up and down on their own. Molly's mother, Joanna, who stayed with the couple on occasion, has also been seen standing in the window of Catherine's bedroom, where she stayed after Catherine passed away. Added to that is the reported sighting of a grumpy male servant who appears in a mirror hanging close to the stairs located on the house's first floor. Number 3. The Glessner House, which is located at 1800 South Prairie Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, was designed in 1885 and 1886 by architect Harry Hobson Richardson, who's considered to be a visionary in the world of architecture, as he blended typical American architecture of the time with European Romanesque styles, resulting in what became known as the Richardsonian Romanesque style. This did not sit well with Glessner's neighbors, however, as it was not in keeping with the surrounding architecture and the house was seen as somewhat of a sore thumb. But he and his wife Frances were unperturbed and moved into the house in 1887, having spent a total of $149,000 on the house's design and construction, and for the next 50 years they lived there happily. But Henry Richardson never got to see the end product of his design, as he passed away just a few weeks after completing the plans for the Glessner House. As a tribute, the Glessners hung his picture on one of the mansion's walls, where it still remains today. Many people have reported cold spots throughout the mansion, and it's believed that they are caused by the spirit of Henry Richardson, who is, at last, enjoying the house that he helped construct. On the stairs and in the mansion's master bedroom, visitors have reported seeing a white apparition that seems to linger there. Others have had clearer, more defined sightings of Richardson, so much so that they were able to recognize him from the picture that still hangs on one of the house's walls. Some people believe that Richardson doesn't trust the living to look after the building as it should be, and that he stays in the house to make sure it's kept in good shape. It's also been suggested that he's only interested in the building rather than its visitors, as he's not known to approach or interact with those who pass through the house's halls today. Number 2. Dreary Mansion, which was built in 1912 by Francis Dreary, stands on 8615 Euclid Avenue at 87th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. For the following 12 years, Dreary, his wife Julia, and their son lived in the building before deciding to move to a more affluent eastern suburb in 1924, as many of their neighbors had done. They decided to buy a 155-acre farm in Gates Mills called Cedar Hill, and here they built a replica of their old house, which was 1.5 times bigger than the one on Euclid Avenue. But despite having moved out of the first building long before passing away, it's said that Julia still walks through its halls today. One report from a tour guide stated that while they were talking to a visiting group at the lake house's grand fireplace, they were discussing Julia's history in the house. As soon as they spoke her name, the lights over the fireplace started flashing on and off, as if it was being intentionally done. When he returned to the mansion a few days later to return photographs to the house's curator, he explained what had happened, and as soon as he said Julia's name, the same thing happened again, and they concluded that she was letting them know that she was still in the house. Others have seen doors and windows in the scary house open and close on their own volition, and visitors have felt the presence of other people in the room with them while they were alone. In 1978, a counselor reported seeing a woman in an old-fashioned dress standing on one of the upper stories, while another, younger woman has been seen only to disappear in a sudden burst of flame. One of the haunted house's more well-known stories comes from 1972, when 2 police officers were tasked with guarding the building, which was unoccupied at the time. When they were to be relieved of their duties the following morning, they were found sitting back to back with their firearms clutched in their hands, terrified. There have also been many reports of footsteps heard throughout the building, and people have stated that they felt as though they were being watched by an unknown presence. Some visitors have seen window blinds being inexplicably opened and drawn, further adding to the mystery of the Dreary Mansion. Number 1. Athelhampton House in Dorchester in the English county of Dorset is not only considered to be one of the best preserved examples of a medieval house, but also one of the most haunted houses in all of England. The house was built by Sir William Martin in 1485, and today it still contains some of the original pieces of furniture that were present back then. The house was then bought by Alfred de La Fontaine in 1891, and he restored it while creating beautiful gardens on its grounds. The building passed through many hands over the next years, and in 1957 it was bought by Robert Victor Cook, whose grandson still owns it today. The first reports of hauntings in the house date back as far as the 1850s, when the apparition of a woman dubbed the Grey Lady was first seen. There have also been sightings of a dark silhouette that's believed to belong to a monk. A housemaid that worked in the building reported that she heard footsteps behind her, and when she turned around, saw the monk standing outside the bathroom door. Others have seen him walking in the property's garden, and it's believed that he was a Catholic priest who tended to the Martin family. On another occasion, a woman was sitting in the Great Hall while reading a book when two men suddenly burst into the room in the middle of a sword duel. At first, she was alarmed, but when she realized they didn't seem to know she was there, she turned back to her book, and when one of the men received a cut on the arm, he left the room never to be seen again. Others have reported hearing scratching and clawing coming from inside the walls, and it's believed to be the spirit of a pet ape that was kept on the property at one time. Local legend has it that the Martin family did indeed keep a pet ape that was allowed to wander the house and grounds as it saw fit. In the wine cellar, people have experienced tapping from a ghost that's known as Cooper, though there's not much known about this spirit or why he's present in the house. As for the Grey Lady, she's been seen on many occasions walking through the house in the early hours of the morning, with her hair in a knot, passing through the walls in many of the house's bedrooms. In one incident, a servant saw a female visitor sitting in one of the Tudor room's high-backed chairs, and since it was past visiting hours, asked her if she would mind leaving as they were about to close up for the night. The woman then stood up without saying a word, approached the wall, and disappeared through the paneling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knots, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.